Hello and welcome, my viewer. This is Know Your Health and I'm your host Sylvia Nyongesa. And you've probably heard about breastfeeding and how it is a very big deal to a child when they are so young, especially below the age of 6 months. And today I have a specialist. She is a nutritionist and she's just going to help us understand the importance of breastfeeding, how to do it correctly, and what you stand to lose by not breastfeeding your child correctly. So welcome.
Thank you. My name is Lydia Kimani. I work in Trans Nzoia County, Department of Health, Nutrition and Dietetic Unit. And today we are talking about breastfeeding, a very good topic for our children. We want to let the people know how we should breastfeed, for how long, and what are these benefits that a mother needs to know about breastfeeding. Because statistics are not showing that most women are not doing it right, but others are trying. So you need to know what is breastfeeding and how and for how long do we need to breastfeed.
So what can you tell us is breastfeeding according to nutrition? What is breastfeeding?
Thank you. Breastfeeding is when you're feeding a child milk from the mother. A mother's milk, not from animals, but you're giving the milk from the mother. You either do the breastfeeding, you put the baby to the breast to breastfeed, or you express the milk and give to the child. That's what we are saying, breastfeeding. You're giving that child the mother's milk, not any other milk from any other animal or from processed milk, just the mother's milk.
Okay,
yes.
So before we go to the breastfeeding itself, how long does it take for a mother to start producing breast milk, let's say maybe after conception?
Thank you so much. Immediately a mother delivers a baby, the milk production starts. But immediately she delivers, you realize that she doesn't have a lot of milk. It's like a spoon. Sometimes when you try to express the milk, when you try to press the mother's breast to see whatever is coming out, you'll see what comes out immediately she delivers. It's something watery, something yellowish, but it's very important for that child. So immediately the mother delivers the baby, she can be able to breastfeed the child.
Okay, does milk come out maybe before delivery? Is a mother an expectant mother, able to produce milk before the delivery itself?
No, ideally, breast milk should come out after you deliver. Unless for women who had, there's some women who get pregnancy too soon, before they get like you have a baby this year and next year you're pregnant, get yourself, you still have milk. But if just the pregnancy without another child, you're supposed to start producing milk after you deliver.
After a child is born, how soon am I supposed to put him on my breast and start breastfeeding?
Thank you very much. Immediately you deliver, you're supposed to put the child on the breast. Immediately. The recommendation is that before 1 hour is gone, you put the child to the breast. Although some women stay for a longer time, 8 hours, 3 hours, even a day without putting a baby to the breast, but the recommendation is that you put the baby within 1 hour of birth, and this we call it early initiation of breastfeeding. Yes, and it has a lot of benefits. The earlier you put the child to the breast, the faster the milk let down. Milk let down means the milk starts flowing and increasing in amount. Remember, as you deliver, you have scanty milk, very little. But the moment you put the baby to the breast, there is that communication to the brain and to the breast, and the breast starts now producing milk. There is communication that things have changed. The baby was inside the womb. The baby was feeding through the placenta. But now the baby has come out. The baby needs now to use the mouth to breastfeed. So the moment you initiate the baby to the breast the earliest, the milk now starts getting produced and the amount starts increasing. The more you delay in initiating the baby to the breast or putting the baby to the breast, the more the milk takes time to come out. And remember, the baby is out. You have delivered the baby. It needs to continue feeding. So the moment you delay to put the baby to the breast, the milk takes time to come out, and now the baby will start crying. And you say, sina maziwa, and you start now giving water and other things which is not recommended. You're just supposed to put the baby immediately. In fact, we say as the procedure of delivery continuing, you put the baby skin to skin. The baby is born without clothes, and the mother, you put the baby skin to skin to the mother, and the child naturally locates the breast and starts breastfeeding.
What you're basically saying is that a child is born when they already know how to suckle.
Exactly. It is so natural. Those are, we call them natural reflexes. A child is born with a natural reflex to breastfeed. Yes. You don't have to take the child to the breast. If you just put it near the breast, the child will start locating the breast. It will locate the breast and it will start breastfeeding on it. She knows how to do that. The baby knows how to do it.
Now that the baby has been delivered and you've tried to put the baby just near the breast so that they can breastfeed, but you find that especially first-time moms, they do not even have a nipple. How is that solved?
Thank you. As a new mom, they have nipples. However, there are some ladies who have inverted nipples. Inverted nipples means the nipple, instead of coming out, it goes inside. In that case, we assist them, but that is a very small number.
Okay.
Yes.
So now that we've established a child would know how to breastfeed by themselves and everything, how do you breastfeed correctly? What is the procedure?
Breastfeeding has a lot of benefits, and now how to do it, most women sometimes they don't know how to do it. But how to do it, you say the first thing is that early initiation of breastfeeding. It's the first thing you do. You put the baby the earliest. Now, from the day you give birth to 6 months, the breast milk is enough for that baby. So you're supposed to do something we call exclusive breastfeeding. You give the child mother's milk only without giving water, juices, or even some people call light porridge. You don't give anything, just give mother's milk from the child, the time the child is born, up to 6 months. We say 0 to 6 months, you just give breast milk only. And in this way, you can give it by putting the child to the breast to breastfeed. And you breastfeed on demand. On demand, we are saying you breastfeed every time the child wants to breastfeed. The child knows when he is full or she is full, she will stop to breastfeed when she is full. That is one. The other way you can do it, there are some women, naturally they are working, so they'll be given maybe 3 months, which is recommended. They are supposed to be given 3 months maternity. After 3 months, they will wish to go back to work. How do they breastfeed these children? They need to express the milk, leave the milk at home, so that the children can continue taking the mother's milk up to 6 months.
When you said that you just put the child on the breast, are you supposed to hold it for the child and maybe try to help them balance it into their mouth, or is that something that just happens? Because I've seen a lot of women actually holding the breast or the nipples to their child, for their children.
There's something we call positioning and attachment. So you need to hold the baby to the breast. And when we are holding, we call it you're positioning the baby. You hold the baby close, and you normally say let the stomach, the child's stomach and yours, or the navel face each other. In that way, the baby is very close to you. So you hold the baby well to the breast. Then there's something we call attachment. Attachment is how the baby holds the breast to the mouth. So if you do not do the right attachment, and this is where some women complain that it is painful to breastfeed. If you don't hold the child well to the breast, if the child doesn't hold the breast well, they will have some cracked nipples. and because the child is only breastfeeding on the nipple and not on the bigger part of the breast. So they need to hold the breast well. They breastfeed on the nipple and also something called the areola, so that when they are breastfeeding, they have a big part of the breast into their mouth. The mother can support the breast to the child, but there is a way the women do. Sometimes they do the cesarean. But they're supposed to hold the whole breast with the hand, so that you are only supporting it so that it doesn't block the nose, but you let the child breastfeed comfortably. Yes.
So how can you tell that the breast milk is actually too much that it can choke your child?
To know whether you're not holding well, you find the child, when the child is breastfeeding, the child is uncomfortable. It makes some noise, like the milk is not coming out well. But when the child has held the breast well, because the breast ducts, they just release the milk well, the child will be so relaxed, it won't be moving, the child will just relax, breastfeed, get full, and just leave the breast on its own without complaining. But if the child is not holding the breast well, the milk will not come out well, so the child will leave the breast and continue crying, like it's dissatisfied with breastfeeding. So when they are breastfeeding well, sometimes they even sleep when they are breastfeeding.
I heard that there is actually different types of milk. I don't know, colostrum and the one that is not very thick and everything. So how do you ensure your child gets a little of all of them?
About the different types of milk, of breast milk.
Yeah.
The first milk that the mother produces, immediately the child is born, those first days, the yellow milk is called the colostrum. And it's so important because it has immunity, it has all the nutrients, it's like the first vaccination for the child. Very important. It boosts the immunity of the child. That is the first milk that we have. Now, as the child continues breastfeeding, you realize the milk now gets the white color. And in this milk, we have types of milk. And when we are breastfeeding, if you don't breastfeed well, the child will get more of the water. Remember the milk we have, the fore milk? We call it maziwa ya kwanza, the fore milk, and the hind milk. So the fore milk has more water. And it is good. That water is good because it will quench the baby's thirst. And that is why we are saying for the first 6 months, don't even give water. The milk has water. However, breastfeeding technique, how do you breastfeed? To get the fore milk and the hind milk. The hind milk has fat. It has more nutrients than the fore milk. And in this case, I'm not saying that you milk the first one and pour. The child needs the milk that has water and also the hind milk. So to get the benefits of all the milk, you're supposed to put your baby on one breast. The baby finishes breastfeeding on one breast so that you put on the other breast. But some women put their children on one breast for a few minutes, then they remove, they put, the milk is coming out, they put it here and here. So what will happen, the child will only get the fore milk that has a lot of water, but not get the hind milk. So you need to put the child on the breast. She breastfeeds on one breast. The milk, she finishes on one breast before you put to the other breast.
Okay, do we have cases where a child just decides that they suckle on the right breast and leave the left one alone? Or some of them choose the left one and then leave the right one?
Well, I've had women say that mtoto alikataa maziwa moja, one, but I've never had that experience of now having a mother who puts the child on one breast and refuses the other. But what we normally say, if the child is refusing to breastfeed sometimes, you can express a little milk on the child's mouth. If the child gets that taste, he or she will be interested on breastfeeding. So you can encourage so that they breastfeed on both press.
Well, I hope you're learning a lot, but we are going to take a very short break. When you're coming back, we'll be talking about the benefits of breastfeeding and other matters regarding the same.